feel like your work quota is. You definitely probably got your work quota in today.
Where's my...
Yeah, we're getting stabbed with our words.
Welcome to Kidmin Backstage, the place where we talk about kids ministry and take a peek behind the scenes. We try to share a little bit of what we've learned that works for us and some of our failures so you can avoid them. We release a new episode every Friday, and this is your backstage pass to see the magic or disaster that happens behind the scenes of our kids ministry. I'm your host, Gabe Baker, and today I'm joined by Brother Myles Story. How's it going?
It's going good. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, absolutely. So here we are, and we had some great Sunday school today. As you were Flavius, Master
Yes.
Flavius.
I was.
And so we're doing our gladiator theme. But what are we talking about today? What's our title?
We're talking about living the dream.
Livin the Dream. So, wonder if we'll get any kickback on this one.
I know. Well, it's going to be interesting.
So, Livin the Dream. So, I think in children's ministry, and this applies to life too, but it's easy to look towards like the next event or the next series or the next, big goal, the next big thing, right? And it can be easy for, especially this time of year, like, we finish August and it's like, okay, we got Forward coming up. Okay, then we got Heart of Christmas,
Yep,
so
exactly.
it's like bang, bang, bang. And so it can be easy like to, tomorrow's the last day of vacation and you start planning the next one.
Exactly.
And so we could be looking already, for the next thing. But I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago when I had this thought. And I guess I was feeling like I'm so blessed. And I remember the late brother Chuck Mosino used to say, God's been better to me than he's been to anybody else. And so I'm very blessed with my work, my life, just, everything. And so I was like, you know what? Sometimes we forget, or at least me, that we are living the dream that we once had. We once were trying to attain these goals. You're fairly recently married and you have a very young child. Those are two major life events
Very big.
that you probably dreamed about.
Yeah, dreamed and prayed and fasted for.
There you go. And and now here you are living the dream.
Exactly.
And so anyway, I guess, like in children's ministry, we're like, the kids are coming, our volunteers, our staff, they're on board, they're fully engaged. We have families being reached. This is the dream.
Exactly.
And so, but in that, Pastor used a phrase I like a while back in one of our leadership sessions. He said, ambitiously content. You remember that?
Yes, I do remember that one.
Ambitiously content. And so basically content, but not satisfied.
Yeah, you're okay with the way you're at. You're not depressed down in the dumps, but you're happy where you're at. But you're still there's still a drive and a hunger that I want more. But even while I'm still standing right here where I'm at right now, I'm happy and I'm thankful for where I'm at. Yeah. It's like you talked about us always constantly looking forward. Now there's also a danger in this, what I'm about to say, but we need to remember that there's always a rearview mirror and look back where God has brought us from. Whether you're in a Sunday school position and you only got 10 kids, now you're at 20 kids. You got to look back and thank God that He's brought you this far. Yeah. But even while you're in that process, in that journey, you got to still be thankful and happy and content. And to be a little honest about myself, this is something that I had to learn in my life. Yeah. That I was always constantly looking for something new, something exciting. I was always excited about looking for that next conference, that next event.
Next big thing,
the thing where I almost lost the ability to be happy in the moment. And it's been a shift the last couple of years that I've been able to just take a step back and do that. I'm happy now. Yes. To be content no matter where I'm at.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Or even what the Apostle Paul said, I think myself happy.
Yes. Yes, I think myself happy. What's that song I thought of? They played at a bunch of parades I went to one year. I don't know why I went to so many parades. Be Happy.
Be Happy.
That song. Got a kind of a little groove to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of our first point, is recognize the dream you're already in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, like, okay, I'll tell an example. One time, I remember, this has been several years ago, but I had, when I was younger, I really wanted a BMW. I was like late teenager, and I was just like, now I started working when I was really young, but I was like, man, one day. And then I was like, in my work at the time, I was working in construction, commercial construction.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I wanted to work on high rises.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I'd like to work in high rises. I'd like to be in some kind of, leadership position in that, and with a big company. And I remember, just out of nowhere, it was really funny. I was driving home from Seattle one day. It was late in the afternoon. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
it was almost dark. And I was driving, and I thought, and I don't know, maybe it was God, I don't know, but it like smote me, this thought. Here I was driving back, and I was working on a high rise for Amazon.
Yeah.
And I was in a leadership position. In fact, that's why I was so late. And I was in a BMW.
Yeah.
And I was riding home to a very nice house. And I thought, I didn't realize how, let's just use the word happy. I think that word is overrated sometimes, but I didn't realize how happy my life was. And I was like, wait a second. I got all these things, and I remember, and the rearview mirror you just said.
Yeah, the rearview mirror.
I remember there was a time just a few years ago when I was wishing so bad I could have these things, and have these positions and things. And that's very materialistic, but I just, and so I've had several moments. God has been good to me. So I've had several moments like that in my life where I'm like, man, it's so good,
Yeah.
But I think what can happen sometimes is things are never perfect.
No.
They're never perfect. I mean, you might have like this moment, but the things are never in a perfect state, for days and weeks or whatever. And so what happens is, because it's not perfect, we tend to focus on those negative things and like, if only
this,
if only that. I mean, like, I work at a job, and I'm not just trying to brag on all my blessings, but I work at a job where I make more. I don't make a ton of money, but I make more than I ever have, and so God's blessed me with that. I work from home, and I'm doing something I'm pretty good at. I love doing it, and it's just like, I'm so blessed. And then in the ministry realm, I'm connected with some great people. Our team here, we have a large team, and we connect. You guys all come on the podcast. We're great friends, and then I'm able to connect with people across the nation now too. And so God has blessed me so much. Is it all perfect? No. Things with my job are not perfect. Things with my, I hate using my ministry, but things in ministry or in the church are not perfect. And there's things that maybe could be better here and there, but really, man, it's so good.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's the premise of where this all came from, is stepping back and saying, hey, living the dream.
Yeah. Speaking about, when you talk about the rearview mirror a little bit, I think it was either somebody in our church. I can't remember who it was, so I'm not going to use names because I'm going to probably say the wrong person. I don't want.
It was Bill.
It was Bill. Actually, I know for sure it wasn't Bill. But they took some videos of some old Sunday school way back when, where the cafe was now, before it was a cafe.
Yep.
And I was just like, I just got to see some little snippets of back when Pastor was involved in Sunday school and everything.
Oh, wow, yes.
It was just like, it's crazy to think about how far things have come.
Yes.
I mean, granted, it has been some time, but like, it's a big journey, and it's just, it's been just day by day.
Yep. Day by day, implementing. Yeah, exactly. So, I wrote a couple notes there, connect the present to past prayers. And I guess just to kind of reiterate the rearview mirror thing is remember, not just for the purpose of being content. I'm not just saying like, hey, let's sit back and be satisfied. We're not saying that. And I'm not even saying, even though this is good, I'm not even saying just like, hey, realize how much you've been blessed. But I'm also saying when you're looking forward to these other goals, things that you want to accomplish, let that build your faith.
Exactly.
Let that be a reminder that, hey, God can do it. Like, what's that song? Dance like you did it, shout like you did it.
Yeah, it's an act of faith.
Yeah, it's an act of faith. And so when we can look back and say, well, he did that.
Exactly.
And try to remember how far away that felt, right? How far reaching that seemed at the time. And now here you are, living the dream. And so this podcast is not, the title, I just thought it'd be kind of catchy, but living the dream. We're not bragging. It's unless it's on God, but it's a thing of saying this is where we are because of all the steps that were taken in the past. And so then the other thing I wrote is celebrate out loud. So share these wins with your team, and this is something I'm not good at. But sharing like wins or accomplishments or things that we've done. And you mentioned those pictures. I really need to. I have a lot of those, and it might be cool, even to like backstage or something.
Yeah, to
have like posted on the walls or something.
I was thinking as you sent out the script earlier, I was thinking about, man, we got this giant bus and we got this little tiny space. Like this, we had a pretty good sized group this morning, and I'm like, Lord, I don't know how much more space we get, like how much more people we can pack in here. It's such an awesome situation to be in.
Yes.
Because I remember I've been up here for 3-4 years now. It's something like that. It's been a couple of years I've been up here, and I've just seen it. Of course, kids have gotten older and gone to the big sanctuary, but we've just grown slowly, 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. It's just little by little. Yeah. And it's just amazing watching God do it. Is kind of like the scripture that came to my mind: cast your bread upon the water, and in many days it will return. It's just this constant. It's ever so grateful and ever so appreciative. Yeah, of the things that are happening.
Yeah, it's powerful, really. I mean, I guess that's kind of, again, that premise is just like thinking we can accomplish so much. God can help us, move forward in our goals, move forward in our ministry if we have faith. And why shouldn't we have faith when we start looking back and saying, wow, look at where we came. So number 2 is lead with gratitude, not entitlement. And so, and that's kind of that thing like where I said we're not bragging, but, say thank you often. Tell the staff, the volunteers, you matter. Tell the kids we're glad you're here. Every chance that we get to plant seeds. And gratitude fuels joy, as a note I wrote.
It does. This is something that I just recently have been put into a leadership role myself as a foreman. Right now I got, depending on the day, it's 5 to 7, 8 guys over me, and I do my best to say thank you. Just thank you for their work, because I want them to know, like, I appreciate what they're doing, because I can't be everywhere at once. And being grateful and being appreciative of just saying those words, thank you for your help, it takes 15 seconds. It doesn't take that much, but sometimes the hardest thing is getting in my brain, okay, I need to say thank you instead of squirrel jumping, putting out this fire, doing that fire, doing this, doing that, jumping all over the place. Because sometimes people need to hear that, because that is their... Yeah,
it makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and I think, so those people are getting paid to work there, but sometimes people... they're going to show up to work for their paycheck, but sometimes they come and their productivity or the way the day goes has nothing to do with the paycheck.
Exactly.
And it has to do with those thank yous and that attitude of appreciation. That
there's a positive, there's a good environment there.
Yeah.
and that can make all the difference. It can help you on a Monday morning jump out of bed a whole lot easier.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
or you can, let's even like this with Sunday school, when that alarm goes off early and you know everybody else in the house is still going to be sleeping, and they'll still be sleeping by the time you leave because you got everything you got to do with
still be asleep when you get done with practice.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, babe.
Sister Shamra, hopefully you're not watching this one.
Yeah.
So we might, in a few weeks when this airs, we might find out.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So, and then, I put, this is kind of all on gratitude, but make gratitude public. And this is kind of, I read something a long time ago. Let's see if I can remember how it goes. Basically, like, here's the premise. This is not exactly how it was said, but here's the premise is, if I compliment you on doing a great job, and I'm sincerely complimenting you, it makes a big difference, and you feel good about it and everything. But if I compliment you in front of your peers, and people that you work with, and tell you did a good job and everything, then it's like, I can't remember the percentage they use, but it's like another 50% impact. I mean, it's just a major impact. And so, that's something I have no problem usually, like, with complimenting people, but it's remembering, and then I have made some effort to try to do that where it's in front of people, and sometimes it can even be awkward or embarrassing, but I think at the root of it, as long as it's sincere, it has to be sincere. At the root of it, people are really grateful for, seeing that recognition. I know from personal experience, like I said, I started working when I was quite young, 14 years old, in the public workspace. And I know, I started working for a very small amount of money, and then gradually my raises were quite big in percentages, you bumped up. And so I've done these things. It sounds like we got a mouse in here.
Something like that.
So, but I did that work, got paid and everything. But for me, a huge difference was not just like the attaboys or the compliments, but it was like knowing that I was making a difference, and the boss, whoever that boss was, for a long time it was my father, but whoever that boss was, knowing that they really appreciated me coming. Yeah. And sometimes it was subtle. It wasn't necessarily in words. I just knew. And it's funny because even now, that's a lot of what makes a difference to me is I know Pastor just knows that I'm making things happen or whatever, and that helps me to like fuels me, to keep me going or whatever. So anyway, it makes a difference when you can recognize others,
It does make a drastic difference.
So let's go on to point number 3 is excuse me. Expand the dream for others. So, we're talking about living the dream, and so that's why all these are on the dream and stuff. Yeah. But expand the dream for others. So, creating a space for growth, and so give volunteers opportunities to lead. We have like our small groups, and I always tease Brother Keach because he hates them, but we have our small groups where we do our small groups and snacks, and then teaching lessons, mentoring kids. So all of this is part of expanding. Who was it? I think it's Zig Ziglar said if you help, how do you say it? If you help enough people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want.
I've never heard that one before.
Okay, yeah, I think it was Zig Ziglar. If you help enough people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want. And it's like a leadership principle.
Okay.
And so I think that applies kind of in our Sunday school ministry in a certain extent. But what I really mean is if we can look at our ministry team, not just like, okay, I need you to be Flavius, but also how can we look at the people that are doing acting or whatever they're doing, and how can it be a development for them?
Mm-hmm.
How can they develop into other roles? And I don't just mean within Sunday school, where it makes a difference. We joke all the time about Brother Brian Critcher, Brother Joey Boggs are a result of Sunday school. They're both evangelists,
But when you think about it, it's a small step. Everything. I mean, I wasn't. I think I was still up here when Brother. He was maybe had made 1 or 2 appearances in Sunday school, but he didn't make very many appearances when I just started. Brother Boggs was gone long before I came up here. But I mean, even we can see some of these young people, like they're just now starting out, and then now they're just starting. And I've seen the growth in them as far as like they're able to. At first, we could barely get them to say 1 or 2 lines, and now that we've invested, and we've I'd say we, mostly you,
but it's a group effort.
It's a group.
Yeah,
they've been given the space to grow.
Yes,
and it's been a little bit, and now there's somebody I'm thinking of in particular. They're one of the main characters, and they even said today that they were nervous about it, but that person, like, they killed it. They did awesome.
Oh, yeah.
They did awesome today, and I would only reason why I knew that they were nervous is because they mentioned it in practice.
Yeah,
but they.
Yeah, you would never guess.
When I was up there on stage, I had no clue one bit, and like, it's going to be very interesting in the next couple of years watching this person and several others that I'm thinking of, watching what kind of amazing acting or amazing things that God's going to be able to do through them.
Yeah,
but it's just a little bit here, a little bit there, and it's a little bit growth.
Well, and really that has always been, and I mean it comes from pastor, but that has always been a goal of mine in Sunday school is like kind of a 2-pronged, like there's the kids that, and that's what we're here for primarily, is we're ministering to these kids, but then for the team, because we do have a lot of young people, and to develop these people, and so we have seen it. I mean, like, and I think some of it's not quantifiable. I think some of it is just like again, we do joke, but even Brother Critcher, he even like on the podcast mentioned something about that.
Really?
Like he attributes some of, not, I mean, we're not, we joke about that, but he does attribute some of his experiences in Sunday school to helping him at least, in evangelizing. And so, but you think about like people, public speaking, for example, is one of the worst fears, right? Or greatest fears. So when they come into Sunday school and they learn for those that don't know, just in front of kids, like they're just kids, quote unquote, just kids. People get nervous.
They do.
I've gotten nervous. It's just kids, and you get nervous. But when people overcome that, they're all that much closer when they have to testify or something.
Exactly. To
actually being able to, like, oh wait, I've been here before. I can do this, and so it's developing them.
Exactly.
And then another direct result is like. We haven't done as much live music lately, but like my son, I'll use him as an example. My son Adrian, he started playing the drums in Sunday school
I did not know that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Let's see. I have a picture of him the first time or video, I think, the first time he played, and I think he was 6.
Okay.
He was 6 or 7, and he started playing in Sunday school. And so he would play for, the Sunday school praise team, which was all adults except for him. And sometimes he would mess up, and the different ones on the piano or whatever would help him get back on or whatever. Well, now he's like an incredible drummer. Yeah. And of course he plays piano and all kinds of stuff. But it started, so that's something we can point at directly and say that started in Sunday school. The other thing is we've had, my son is one of them, but now he's on stage a lot. But there's other people too that have ran like QLab in Sunday school. QLab is Sunday school is the only place we use QLab in our church right now, except for at Heart of Christmas. Really? We use it.
Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So we actually at Heart of Christmas we're looking for like, well, who has ran QLab in Sunday school? So it's a direct,
That's right.
Last year we had somebody that's not in Sunday school come up to Sunday school for several weeks before Heart of Christmas and learn QLab because Adrian wasn't going to be available to operate because he was on stage. Yeah. And so it's just those are key things where
Sunday school is such a great opportunity for growth.
Yes.
It's one of those places that allow yourself to grow. Don't be so tense. Just allow yourself to get rid of that fear of messing up and just have fun. Because like, guess what? I've learned that if I mess up and I can try to laugh it off and make the kids laugh, they don't even care that I messed up because all they care about is something was funny.
And they might not even know.
They might not even notice it. Half the time they don't even know. Like today, our Bible story script did not go as planned. It was a kind of it was just something new, something different.
Yeah.
That we're all as a team we're learning how to do, and it didn't go. But guess what, kids? Guess what? They didn't care. They had fun.
They didn't care. Yeah.
They had Sunday school, and guess what? We had the story was probably one of the. Can I say it like this? Probably one of the worst stories we've had in a long time. But guess what? We had probably one of the best altar calls we had in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And that's the whole point.
That's what's so amazing. That's what I love about Sunday school.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny. Let's talk about that for a second. So the script, Brent and I talked about this a little bit, but so the script is new. The whole idea that we're running now is we have dialogue and everything, and our scripts used to be very much just bullet points and ad lib, and so now it's funny because I've even mentioned it. I mentioned it every practice, in fact. But now we have dialogue, and I'm like, don't worry about the lines. They're just there for context, and let's still ad-lib. And then what happens is everybody gets locked up in the lines, and they're like, oh, and they freeze and whatever. Yeah.
Or they're reading the script like a robot.
Yes. Yeah. So... yeah, if we can get that more fluid. You know what's funny? This actually kind of applies to this whole title, "Livin the Dream."
Yeah,
is I have wanted to for a long time because, we've never. Well, let me back up from that. I did share one of our scripts. I think it was Survival Quest a few years ago. In fact, it was when Brother Joey Boggs went on the evangelistic field.
Okay.
I don't know, a year in or something, but he was at a church that needed something, and he asked me for it, so I shared it with him, and then he did another time he did an event at Brother John Hare's church in Louisiana, I think, and so I kind of had sent him some stuff for that, but other than that, we haven't sold anything or whatever, made it marketable, and it could be. But now I'm part of a project for the WPF Acts in Action curriculum, which is a great resource. I think you can go to actsinaction.com, I think is where it's at. But anyway, so that's all, books that are being sold and everything. It's very similar to what we do, what our scripts are like, except, with dialogue and stuff. So going back to the Livin the Dream is I have always wanted, and I've always thought I don't know how marketable this would be because we do so much ad lib. Yeah. And I, since then, I think just having more exposure, I think it would still do well. But writing this, and I don't know how sustainable it is. I did write the whole 15 weeks, but writing this, I think, is kind of a dream come true, so to speak. Okay. A way, because I've always wanted to have a little bit more of a detailed script, that has some of that dialogue and stuff. So here we are. We're living the dream. Exactly. So I guess the whole point in all of this really is don't, like you said about the rear view. I like rear view mirror. Wow, that's like a. Can you say that 5 times fast?
I'm not going to try. I'm going to...
In Spanish? No.
We're definitely not. No.
But yeah, if you can look back behind you, that's easier. And remember where you came from. And I know that's used a lot, politicians or rich people or whatever, remember where you came from. But I mean in the sense of, like they do, not be entitled. We wherever we're at, not that we're something at all, but wherever we are and whatever successes we've had, is because of that past, you know,
Exactly.
and building on those stumbling blocks.
Yeah. What was it? I talk about building upon those stumbling blocks. I remember somebody saying, I can't remember what context it was or anything, but it's not a failure if you learn something from it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to mention the song. I thought you were going to break out in song.
No. No.
You remember the song though? You Turn My Stumbling Block into a Stepping Stone. I don't know if that's the title, but it says that in the words.
I don't know. Man.
It's an old song.
That one I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, you turn my stumbling block into a stepping stone. So that's good.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do a recap really quick. Okay. So recognize the dream you're already in.
Mm-hmm.
Take a moment. We did a podcast quite a while back. I did one with Brother Steve Arter. I think it was Brother Steve Arter about green grass syndrome.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So the grass is always greener on the other side. You know, we live in the Northwest, and we experience all 4 seasons. Now, I did see a postcard a long time ago. It was hilarious. It was a picture of Seattle, right? Space Needle and the city in the background. And it was like dusk in the picture, and it's pouring down rain.
Yeah.
And then the picture, it's one picture, but then there's just lines that split it into 4 pictures, into 4 sections. And it said the 4 seasons of Seattle, and it like had winter, summer, spring. And so we get a bad rap for rain. We do not have the most rainfall though.
We don't.
But anyway, we get a bad rap for that. But here's the thing, where I was going with that is, I was just recently with somebody and they're from another state, and I was saying that I like where we're at, but I like cities. Mm-hmm. And I said, it's probably because I don't live in one.
Exactly.
And this other person, they live in a city, and they were like, oh, I love it here. I would, if it wasn't for the church and stuff, I would move here. So it's funny how our perspective, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, so I guess in all that, you are living the dream, and sometimes it might be somebody else's dream, but don't take that for granted.
Yeah.
Be like,
you're living a dream, may not be your dream, but you're living a dream.
Somebody else is like, man, they have it all. So just kind of recognize some of that, and then lead with gratitude, not entitlement. So when we are leading, kind of the example you talked about with thanking the people that are working under you, is lead with gratitude, not entitlement. Like, I'm the boss, you have to do what I say. But like, man, I'm glad that you want to be a part of this. You want to be a part of the team here. I'm thrilled, and we have a lot of people that like want to help in Sunday school, and we already have like 30 something on our roster. It's
crazy. Yeah.
And so we're blessed,
We're very blessed.
I mean, I have had people ask from other churches, like, how do you get so many men to help in Sunday school?
It's something different coming from being involved in another church. It's definitely something different.
Yeah. So we're really blessed.
Yeah.
And then expand the dream for others. It's just, we'll go with the Zig Ziglar. I think it's Zig Ziglar, but if we can help, and I think that's in a very secular sense. Yeah. But if we can, so he said, if you can help other people get what they want, then they'll help you get what you want. But if we can develop people for the things that they desire, like somebody wants to, maybe they're going to be a preacher, but they're not there yet. If we can help to develop the skills, and understanding the Bible in story format, even, or speaking in front of kids, man, let's develop and help. Exactly. And it helps our Sunday school, it helps them be better, and it helps the kingdom. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the kingdom of God.
Definitely.
So. All right, well, with that, I think that's a wrap.
All righty.
All right.